Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the Worldwide Wrestling Exhibition Series, the Journeyman's Cup Tournament. My name is Nathan Pletta. I am the designer and publisher of Worldwide Wrestling role-playing game. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the 5th episode in our season. There's been a pretty long break since episode 4, which is available on YouTube with all the other episodes so far. So that means a couple things. One is we're going to be kind of spinning back up in terms of people getting back into their characters because it's been a while since they've played them, that kind of stuff. And also, while we did review what happened in the last episode, if you did watch these are watching these in series, there might be some discrepancies or some discontinuities or something. Hopefully we will hit all the high points, but we're not going to worry too much about like what happened last time, because it's wrestling and stuff changes all the time, and we're not going to worry about trying to get every detail right, as long as we deliver an entertaining show for everyone. So I'm just going to catch us all up so we're on the same page about what's going on for this episode. We have a total roster at this point of about 8 characters, with between 3 and 5 able to appear on any given show. Which is showcasing the rotating attendance feature of the game. Tonight we have Jason playing Professor Atamo, Matthew playing Scythe, and Strash in his long-anticipated return as the Reaper. And I believe we are going to be joined by a new debuting player as well. So we'll work him in when he arrives. There's some technical issues, but we'll make it work. Okay, so the overarching storyline that we're dealing with in this series is the Journeyman's Cup Tournament, which is a bracketed tournament that this promotion, Worldwide Wrestling, has every year. And the winner of the tournament wins the Journeyman's Cup, which is this big trophy cup. And the winner of the Journeyman's Cup is first in line to challenge for the Pan-Oceanic World title, the POW title, POW Championship, the big belt in the company. They carry it around with them. When they want to challenge for the belt, they set it down and declare the challenge and schedule the match. But once the cup is awarded, any other wrestler in the company can challenge the cup holder for the cup, so that number one contendership could potentially move around. So that's something that this promotion does to then add an element of additional drama through the rest of the year once it's awarded. At this point in our series, we've had a lot of the interpersonal drama between the characters kind of build up, and so the tournament itself is almost more of a structural element and less of like the big goal for these characters, which is fine and totally how this kind of thing goes in this game. But we will catch up with the brackets and who's in and who's out and all that stuff. The first couple episodes were focused more on the mechanics of the game and kind of being a resource for people to check it out and learn some of the finer points of application of how to use these rules and play. Since then, we've basically just been playing. Since this is kind of a return episode, we will probably go over some of the mechanics when they come up and people don't quite remember or need to get refreshed on how they work. But we're not going to spend a lot of time going into mechanical stuff. On the last episode, we saw Scythe come into his own as the designated champion of the Graveyard faction, which is led by the Reaper, who has had pressing business for the last couple of episodes in the underworld. So we are going to find out more about that on his return. But in the last episode, Scythe beat the clean-cut technical wrestler and secured a quarterfinal slot. We also had Professor Atomo debuting his new faction, the New Energy Research and Design Society, aka the Nerds, to great acclaim. However, Blind Man Simons shocked the Worldwide Wrestling universe by abducting Aiden Anthony as Professor Atomo was about to induct him into the Nerds and demanding a match against the Dean of Wrestling Science with both Anthony and Atomo's tournament slot on the line. In that match, Simons used his powers of wrestling mysticism to steal the win and reinstate the high flyer Bolt Bradshaw, who we last saw 2 episodes ago, into the 3rd round of the tournament. Bolt Bradshaw had been defeated by Professor Atomo in the first place, so this was a big reversal for wrestling science. So the current tournament standings. We've gone through 2 full brackets. My man Simons, Brainberg, and Professor Atomo are all out of the tournament. As I said, Scythe defeated Aiden Anthony, a non-player wrestler, and Joey Crack, who we might see tonight if we're lucky, defeated another non-player wrestler, Travis Mealmaker, in a Philadelphia hardcore match to advance to the third round as well. So the quarterfinals are Joey Crack, Bolt Bradshaw, Scythe, and Aurora, a crowd favorite high flyer who we have kind of just heard of off screen and have not seen a lot of her so far. So that's all the boring catch-up stuff, and we are going to go ahead and get started recapping our characters for tonight. So we are going to start with Jason, and tell us again, remind us about Professor Atomo.
Happily. I'm going to say, while I'm doing this, you might want to change your microphone because it was a little wonky on you there for a little bit. Oh, no. Yeah. All right, so I am playing Professor Atomo, the headmaster of heavyweights, the maestro of musculature, the atomic academic. He is the veteran playbook, and he is a babyface. He's a little bit of a blowhard, but all-around a good guy, and he's known for his mastery of wrestling science and his understanding of techniques. He has a certain amount of disdain for people that rely on flash rather than technique, but, you know, he's all right with it. He did just have a pretty bad loss, so he's still reeling from that. And there we go.
All right, great. And we'll go to Matthew.
I'm playing now called Scythe, the hardcore character. It used to be called Razor if you're watching from episodes 1 or 2. God, Scythe's had a bit of a road since the start. I'm in charge of the Bones faction right now, but insofar as like when your dad leaves on a business trip, he puts you in charge of the house. Like you're the man of the house, but if you break anything, you're dead. So with Reaper coming back, we'll see how that goes. I'm still holding my own in the tournament, which I'm pretty surprised at. I expected to lose early on and then just sort of menace people from the wings. And as Jason was so helpful to remind me, he's recently taken to hanging out in the rafters a la Sting in the early 90s, and maybe still now. He might still be in the rafters. But yeah.
All right, and Josh, reintroduce us to the Reaper.
So the Reaper is this giant, dreadlocked monster gimmick with skull face paint, usually followed around by people in these little black suits with skeletons painted on them that are colloquially referred to as bones. He's the de facto leader of the graveyard, and he's been out of action for at least a couple of episodes. So since Professor Atomo threw down the gauntlet, I have to do the appropriate, he is the walker between worlds, the Titan of Tartarus, the Sultan of the Shadows, the Reaper! And that's his bone salute. So, he's a power wrestler, huge dude, capable of, like, chucking things around and everything, relies a lot on strength, and he's been out of the ring for a while, so he's going to return back under mysterious circumstances. Ooh.
All right, awesome.
I need to get a title.
You need more. What are those called?
I need more words.
You just need more words applied to you.
Everybody's doing it.
All right, and remind me and everyone of your current audience totals, what I believe are the numbers in your corner, right? Or no, that's momentum.
It should be right above our names.
Yes, I see it now.
Yeah. Professor Atamo has a 3.
I have a 1.
I am also audience 3.
So The audience scale ranges from 0 to 4. 4 being the most over wrestler in company currently, who last episode actually was Blind Man Simons. And 0 meaning you may be fired if you can't extract right away. Great. So that's also a check for me to see if our viewing audience has grown at this point, which with this combination of characters it has not quite yet. Your average is not quite high enough, so something for me to keep an eye on. All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into starting the show. The Worldwide Wrestling broadcast usually starts off with like a title thing and like a video reel of all these highlights and all that kind of stuff. But tonight, the time slot changeover happens, and there's just a black screen, and then we see mist and smoke coming up from the bottom of the screen, and start hearing this like eerie kind of wail, kind of low wail, slowly building, and just hear echoing footsteps coming through the smoke. And then the camera kind of pans back, and we see this huge, hulking figure with a big cloak kind of over it, moving into the frame and slowly walking. And as the smoke kind of builds and light kind of comes through it, starts illuminating what's in front of the figure. And we see it reach out and put its hand on a skull that's at the top of a pile, which may be the back of some kind of large chair or perhaps throne. And then the audience noise from the live arena comes up. Starts as there's cheers and yells from the crowd as when the figure puts his hand on the skull and the screen just goes black. And then the title video starts going. That's the big teaser for this highly anticipated return of the Reaper. You can have that in mind for you, Straj. So we the title video goes. We see some highlights, and then we have the on-screen or the audio commentary going. Welcome everyone to Worldwide Wrestling. We're coming to you live tonight from the St. John Arena in Columbus, Ohio, and well, that was a truly chilling scene we just saw, and we're hearing from our sources that the leader of the graveyard himself, the Titan of Tartarus, may be finally returning to the ring tonight. More information on that as it develops. But first, as our regular viewers might know, we had a big upset last week when the Dean of Wrestling Science, Professor Atomo, was bumped out of his tournament slot. And he's had some time to think about it, and we're told that he may have something to say about the circumstances of what happened. So we're gonna go take you backstage now to what we're told is Nerd HQ, and find out what the professor has to say about his sudden reversal of fortune here in Worldwide Wrestling. Come backstage, and what does Nerd HQ look like? You've had some time to kind of kit out a set, for your faction.
Yep. Well, because Professor Atamo pays homage to cheesy old sci-fi movies, it's a cheesy sci-fi lab. So you've got the reel-to-reel thing that just goes back and forth, mostly blinking lights. There's the occasional switch-in button, and of course everywhere there are nerds. that are running around and pressing things and looking at clipboards and nodding their heads. And the nerds are a diverse population of very muscular people with glasses and lab coats in this particular case, and they all have the Atomo symbol on them. And Professor Atamo himself is not wearing his usual tweed. He is, in fact, wearing the full lab coat and ready to talk. He's got his pipe handy, of course. You know, and he's ready. Do you have an interviewer there, or do you want me to just jump in?
I think go ahead and jump in. I think you just have a,
Yep.
you know, just a camera pointing for you.
Hello, America. I know that you all saw what the blind man did. I know that you saw that, unable to wrestle his way out of the situation he had put himself in, he felt the need to cheat. However, let it not be said the professor is not an honorable man. I have given my spot to Bolt Bradshaw, as was promised. There is more, though. Much more. When the blind man struck me in the face with his psychotropic chemicals, he failed to account for the fact that my mind had been opened in preparation for the fight. He failed to understand my extra wrestling sense was at its peak. And for that moment, our powers were rivaled. For that moment, I saw the truth. I know. Blind man lied to you, America. He said that wrestling science was not supposed to come back. He said I was not supposed to come back. Balderdash! Balderdash! The truth is he was afraid. He was afraid that wrestling science would prove his mysticism was not worthy of the ring. He was afraid of the professor. What's more, I now know what lurks on the rise. I know the graveyard has been moving in to try and take over this company that has won the hearts, the minds, the souls of America. Our wrestling cannot fall to this filth. Though I've lost my role, for now anyway, in the Journeyman's Cup, I will continue to fight on. I will fight for you, America. I will fight for you. There you go.
All right. Awesome. You cut a promo there, sir.
What?
I know. Shocking.
All right.
So,
roll the bones and see how they go.
Roll plus look.
All right. Well, I rolled a 6. However, I am fortunate in that I have a little momentum, and I would rather not get a 6. So I am going to spend 1 to knock myself up to a 7, which I think actually is not my best roll ever.
You had better rolls. That's okay. Yeah. Not like your 14s from the last game.
It's fine.
All right. So make me put you in a match. There isn't really a relevant match to add a stipulation to at this point. Or you can gain a momentum or gain a heat with either in absentia, blind man, or I think someone from the graveyard.
I'll pick someone from the graveyard. Since Reaper isn't officially back yet, I'll just go ahead and throw it in
we all know he's back if you wanted to.
I know, but I'm presuming I was expecting to fight Scythe, and just
sure.
because I haven't directly encountered him, I'll throw it in that direction, I guess. Okay. I think that's the way I'm going to go.
I'll throw the kid a bone.
And it's never bad to have heat. Oh, hey, I already have 1 heat with you. Sweet. That's it too.
Awesome. Okay, so
I got 1 when you turned villain.
So that's great. And that occupies the first segment of the show. I think they'll go to commercial, and we will bring in Peter, our new addition. We're also doing within chat, so it'll take 1 second. So I guess I know we need to. I know you need to do a mic check there, Peter. You can go ahead and do that now.
I've actually made it.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah, I got all my stats and everything. I did that earlier today.
Sweet. Then let's do this. Let's see. Sorry. Usually we kind of like I'd get a better sense of your character before we went live and everything. But I think for our purposes now, I think we're going to come back to have you. We're going to go ahead and basically debut you right into a little promo into a match thing. If you want to go right into that, we'll do the character promo, and then we'll go over your stats after we know who we're talking about. Is that all right?
Either way, I'm fine.
Okay. And what's your... Go ahead and let us know what your character's name here is, because I don't remember what you sent me.
I am playing El Scorpion.
Nice.
A technician who's kind of inspired by the luchadors.
Then... cool. So we're gonna come back from the commercial into his on-screen debut. Go ahead and let me know if you need me to go back and fill something back in. We haven't played before, so if I skip over something, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, or like, tell me how that mechanic works.
I've
But
gone ahead and watched all the Journeyman's Cup today to refresh myself, so I should be okay to go. And I just heard Professor Atomo going on his a diabolical rant about how blind man is the baddest thing ever.
Excellent. All right, so we're gonna come back from the commercial, and our announcers, if there's one thing you can depend on with Professor Atomo is that he doesn't back down, he doesn't give up, and he always comes back and gives it his all. And he really showed us that here tonight, coming back from that incredible setback last week. But what we have here for you tonight, folks, it's a bunch of exciting things. We didn't even get to tell you yet about the debut of one of our new, most highly anticipated talents here in Worldwide Wrestling. You haven't heard a lot about him because he's been, he's been working his in-ring magic, kind of on the down low, as it were, making sure that that the opponents that he's going to face tonight don't know all of the trouble that they're going to be in. But we take you to the ring now to meet our newest acquisition. What is is it El Scorpion or El Escorpion?
Escorpion.
Okay. What does El Escorpion's entrance look like?
I was imagining it to be like a blackout all across the scene, across the place. Then this slow, steady driving music hits up, and the video package starts up. Just a time lapse of out in the desert as the camera pans down from the sky to the dirt, and then it's gonna stop at a scorpion sitting in the desert, who then strikes out of his tail to hit you. And then it hits the rest of the video package, the montage of him, punching people in the face and submission holds, all those fun things.
Nice. So when the tail comes and hits kind of the camera, that's when you come out into
and the lights come back up.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
And what is the most ridiculous ring attire ever?
Go on.
Oh yes. He wears large, billowing white genie pants, tied up with a sash that is color coordinated to match his mask, which has a big black arrowhead where the face should be, and then a trim around that is the color that matches his mask. And when he's walking down to the ring and backstage, he's got this ugly, god-awful leather vest on that also matches colors.
Awesome. So he clearly has a look that he is committed to.
Yes.
Fantastic. Great. So while he's walking down to the ring in screen time, let's go ahead and do your heat questions. So how this works is you, because there's 3 other players, you're going to go ahead and pick 3 of your questions on your sheet and ask them. The other players can volunteer to answer them, and that will set the initial heat that they have with your guy coming in. Because you're debuting into a kind of already existing roster, they're not going to ask you questions. You're kind of going to have they're going to have to work to build up heat with you to get you all on the same page, which is how it works.
Yes, I think I should also mention that he is a babyface.
Yes.
Of the barest kinds, the kind of more of a good is not nice. People cheer for him because he beats up the people who are bad.
Right.
That's more what I'm going for.
Not a squeaky clean kind of guy.
No, he's more like Undertaker when he's a face.
Sure. Yeah,
Sounds
more
like
of
a certain wrestling scientist I know.
Yeah, our baby faces are all
Maybe he was inspired a little bit.
maybe. All right, what's your first question?
Oh, I want to know who's jealous of my skills.
I'm going to say me, because it's well established that Scythe can't actually wrestle.
But not known for his technical acumen.
No. I think there was one time, I forget who I was wrestling. I think it was actually my match with Aiden Anthony that I was like, okay, let's actually wrestle. And it was horrible.
Yes, I remember that as well. Cool. I think that makes sense. So you start with one heat with Scythe.
Scythe is jealous of my skills. I want to know then, who is trying to teach me to be more of an entertainer in the ring?
That's either Professor Atomo or me.
That's a fair point. I'm inclined to say it's probably you, because his look is a little bit more Reaper, and you're a little bit more about the Flash.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be the Reaper. He's actually really nice to the new talents backstage. One thing you should know about him is that he never breaks character, even backstage. So keep that in mind.
Keep it kayfabe, brother. Sorry.
So, yeah.
And wow, these other questions. So then, who's trying to learn by watching me in the ring? Probably not Professor Atomo, since he's probably the one trying to take me under his wing and teach me. Just putting that out there.
I mean, unless you recognize that he has this new style of technical wrestling that you begrudgingly admit is worth something.
As a technician, he probably recognizes that you've actually got the chops, although he doesn't. I'm guessing he doesn't think much of your shtick.
It's a style you've never seen before, and you have to quantify it.
There was Bolt was trying to make the case for there being a new style of wrestling science.
But you showed him.
Wrestling pseudoscience.
I did show him. Honestly, as much as I do love to have heat with everyone, I'm pretty sure that one also goes to Scythe. I mean, that
would make sense. Really. You can double up.
Yeah. I'm jealous and I'm watching. Yeah. I'm your stalker. I'm your stalker.
I apparently have all the heat with Scythe then, because
I'm your
my heel to babyface heat, and that's a +3 to start to get the game off.
Yep.
I'm your wrestling stalker boyfriend.
Oh, fabulous!
Oh, jeez.
Probably a little jealous of that costume too. Like that's got a way better budget than mine.
Well, it's the lucha style. You always have to be as flashy as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, what's flashier than genie pants?
True.
Nothing.
I mean, hey, Sabu's made it work for decades now. So. Fantastic.
Shaq
So
built a whole movie
Babyface.
off of it.
Cool. So yeah, so a lot of heat with Scythe, and then you have what, 2 with Reaper and none with Atamo.
Yep.
All right.
Atamo does not care for me.
You two are. You pass each other in the hallway, not
Yet.
speaking. Yeah, yet. Cool. And then, just so I know, what are the which moves did you take?
I took the Excellence of Execution and the Former Amateur Champion, which I was going to refluff a little bit to make it a former MMA fighter. Because Scorpion's more of a strike him in precision and then hit the submission holds after that.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah, former MMA lucha style submission guy.
Yeah, kind of a mix between the Japanese puroresu and then lucha style.
Yeah.
A lot of hard,
great.
stiff strikes.
You're the opposite of Scythe in every way, which I appreciate.
Not intentionally, I would like to point out. That was just, I had this character concept to begin with and just ran with it.
No, it's great.
That's because Scythe just sort of like slap fights.
And carrying a chair everywhere.
Like, what are you doing?
Okay, very, very good. Taking a look at our plan here. Okay, so you are heading down to the ring. This is your big debut. So you're already in the ring. Is a wrestler who we have not seen before, but he's a huge, even a little bit larger than Reaper. His name is Tiny Nate Turner, and he hails from he hails from Roswell, New Mexico, and his backstory is that there may have been some kind of influence in his development which made him so freakishly large. He's a big guy who's never held a title, hasn't hit the upper echelons, but he's big guy, gets the crowd going, and has some pretty devastating big guy power moves. So he's in the ring, just like pacing back and forth, rolling his arms, rolling his shoulders, waiting for you to get in there. Do you want to take the mic on your way in, or are you going to go ahead and
I think showcasing my character out by just punching this guy right in the face is the best way to start off.
All right. So you head up to the ring. I think in time-honored tradition, Jason, do you mind being the announcer for this match?
I like being an announcer.
And if anyone wants to jump in with additional commentary, they're obviously welcome to.
You know what? We'll have Atomo be announcing, so he'll be down in his tweed up front again.
Nice. Do you still have the separate table? Was that a thing for you? I don't remember.
It wasn't, although it could be now.
Oh yes, please make it a separate table with the old style like green felt cover there and the little bent lamp. Oh please.
Yep.
You have a little it's like a little card table, so it's pretty easy for them to get in and out whenever you go out to do commentary. All right.
You have to have a lamp.
Well, he has an armchair. That's been established, so he'll have that too.
Great. Awesome. So when Scorpio gets to the ring, slides in under the ropes, the bell rings, and you just like run over and just go right for Tiny Turner's face.
Big guy, I'd say focusing on the legs is the best way. I'd just start snapping those kicks to the side of the knee.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that classic style.
Right.
Pop him down, just repeated left, right, left, right.
So, yeah, so you run in, yeah, you start giving those snap kicks on the side, you know, and he starts, you know, kind of yelling and swatting at your legs, like right after, you know, you get the kick in. Not very effective. He's more of the slower, lumbering big guy type. And finally, you're snapping at him, and so you have, you know, so again, how this works, you have control of the match at this point, so you can kind of add in more building stuff that you want to do or transitional stuff, going up to a big moment. Though I will say that if that he is going to at some point just wind up and just, you know, give you the full chest shove to get you away from his legs.
Yeah, that's the obvious going on there. One sec, I forgot to pull up an important file. So I think I'm just gonna start off real nice and easy and just work him, and I'm gonna say just work this going back and forth, and finally just stop, run back to the ropes, whip off of them, and come back in for a baseball slide at his knees.
Just take him out right at the knees.
Yeah, I'm working. I might as well just keep punching away at that.
So, yeah, classic big man approach. Take out the knees, work the joints, get him down.
Get him on the ground where he can't do anything to me. All
right. So cool. We'll go ahead and roll for that for being your first big wrestling moment. Yeah, so you're going to make the wrestling move. So you pick which stat you want to roll on. Work, power, look, or heat. I imagine that, you know, you're executing a demanding or dangerous maneuver here, baseball sliding into this giant guy's knees.
This sounds like a precision move, so that would definitely be some work.
That'd definitely be roll plus work for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I admit I haven't really seen a Scorpion work before, but he's taking a very cerebral approach here. I approve of it. I can't say I approve of the flash, but the jabs, the thoughts, the kicks. It's well done.
Nice. So, what's your work?
My work is, surprisingly enough, only a plus 1, so I only have an 8 right there.
Yep. All right. So you hit the baseball slide pretty well. You can retain control and transition to the next sequence, or you can give me control and gain 1 momentum.
Yeah, I think that this is the moment I should go ahead and just grab myself some momentum and let you run over on me.
All right.
Give the big guy his moment to shine. You know.
Right. It only really counts if he gets some of his shit in, as they say. Cool. So yeah, you baseball slide in it. You know, you take him out of the knee. He goes down, but he, instead of just like kind of landing on his knees, he actually throws his arms out and just hits you with both of his giant clubbing forearms across your chest on his way down. So you're both kind of rolling apart, and he gets back up to kind of pulls himself back up on the ropes, and you're still down on the ground, and just starts holding onto the rope. Just starts doing the like stomping on your chest, like the stomp jump, doing like 1, 2, 3, and then the ref comes over and waves him off, and he's just like and he steps off a second and comes back and starts kicking you again. 1, 2, 3. Atomo, what is this looking like from ringside?
There's the risk. There's the risk in being a little bit too cautious right there. The big man's just stomping in. I'd be surprised if he still has any ribs left at the end of this. This is painful to watch. The young man has some thought, but does he have spirit? So far, it doesn't look that way.
And this is when I will turn it back over to you, as I think you're in a good opportunity to do something involving this giant guy's leg being directly in your power as he keeps stomping on you in the corner.
I feel that this is an excellent opportunity for a drop toe hold.
Mm-hmm.
Just get that foot as he's coming down, get in there and get him right into the turnbuckle.
So he kind of like flipping him into the turnbuckle.
Yeah, just kind of roll through underneath him and get him to eat some padding.
Nice. Yeah, so he just has the big, like, his face right into the turnbuckle, and there's a big, like, ooh, because, you know, big giant man smashing into the turnbuckle. It's always a sight to see.
Yeah, always fun.
And then where do you go from there? So he's now kind of in your power. And
well, now that he's there, I gotta work it. So I gotta springboard over the ropes and get his hands all up over that ring post and just start swinging his elbows into it and over again.
Oof! So the ref comes over and starts like yelling and let him out, back it up. And then he starts giving you the 10 count because you're outside the ring.
Oh, so fun. Fine, I'll roll back in underneath and then just start going right back to those knees. If a ref's going to be like that, it's right back to the other.
He's going to enforce the rules. Call this one straight down the middle. The normal commentary team at ringside, are like, it's the vicious streak here from El Scorpion, really living up to his namesake.
El Scorpion's playing the long game. He's trying to give the big man the death of 1,000 stings.
All right, so this is we're going to go ahead and wrap this up because this is pretty much an enhancement match here.
Yeah,
so
he was jobbing for me.
Yeah, no, and he's doing his part. Once you get him out of he got his stuff and he got to kick you a little bit, but now you have his legs. You're working over the knees, and it's time to bring this one home. You of course are in the are booked to win this match.
Cool. So that means I get to pull him into a finisher then, right?
Yes. So what is your finisher?
Well, I think I wanted to go ahead and do a non-traditional finisher for a technician. Although it was kind of popularized lately, I think I need to do some German suplex this guy to really show off how it is to mix some power with your excellence of execution.
Oh man, the German suplex.
So I think I'm going to put him into the Death Grip Slam. That is a double chicken wing, belly to back German suplex into a pin.
Oh my god. Wow. All right, so I will say this. This guy is so large that doing this, it's your move and you can do it, but doing it like really well and cleanly is going to be a feat of strength.
A feat of strength, so I got to roll some power there?
Yes, so you have to demonstrate some extraordinary strength. You don't usually have to do it, but this guy, because he's so big...
He's a monster to make even the Reaper look kind of on the small side.
I wouldn't say Reaper's on the small side, but he's...
This guy's up there.
Comparable. So roll plus power.
All right. Roll well, roll well. Oh, I need to clear these ones.
Is that a 6?
It was a 6. Well, it's a good thing I have a power plus 1.
Nice.
Give me a 7.
The thing is, the thing is, I haven't used my magical powers yet. And if you're at a 7 already, I'm more than happy to put you over. So that's what's going to happen here. Is I'm going to put you over in your move. Okay?
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Awesome.
All right. So Atomo is like, well, I don't know if this... Wait, what's he doing? Dear God, that should not be physically possible! This is an inhuman feat of strength, of technical skill. Oh! Oh my gosh! That was a thing of beauty! You have managed to unite the aesthetic, the intellectual powers, and the Scorpion. Ladies and gentlemen, watch this man!
Amazing, yeah, and so that brings it to a 10. You do it, well, you choose. You either do it easily and gain 2 momentum, or you impress your opponent, who in this case, I think you'd impress Professor Atomo, as opposed to impressing Nate Turner.
Jason, is that acceptable?
And you would gain 1 heat with him.
I'm happy to gain heat with peoples.
I think impressing the quote-unquote big guy on campus is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I mean, why should not you impress the dean of the school?
It's true. Awesome. So yeah, you totally clean his closet. What did you call this?
That was the geez, I don't remember what I called it. It wasn't what I wrote down, because what I wrote down was stupid.
That's fine. Your crazy scorpion bomb. You pick up the big man, make it happen. It looks great, and now go ahead and roll for your finishing move. Now that we know that you did it without injury and you ended up impressing the prefect.
Oh!
Nice.
Epic follow-up. Epic follow-up.
And he already put you over, so he can't do it again.
Can I just go ahead and take the botch and injure my opponent?
Oh yeah. All
right.
Yep.
I
You
will
go overboard and injure your
I will
opponent.
go overboard, and instead of putting him into the pin, I will launch him across the ring.
Well, I think he's so big that like normally he would just land on his back, right?
Right.
But he's so big that he lands on his neck because he's too tall to tuck all the way. And that instead of Atomo's screaming, the crowd's like when you go up with him, the crowd's like, oh, and he goes over, like, oh, and he hits the mat, but something is clearly wrong. He lands at this odd angle and clutches his neck, and the ref the ref runs over and kind of pushes you away. And then
breaks the pin attempt.
Yeah. He breaks a pin, and then he just waves to the timekeeper and they ring the bell.
Dreaded X.
Yeah. And then he turns to the camera and does the injury X, and a couple of the staff people, trainers or whatever, come out to check on Nate Turner, and the announcer goes, Tiny Nate Turner is unable to continue this match. This match ends in a no contest. Boo. Everyone can see that it was that wasn't supposed to happen. Whoops. Whoopsie doodle. What do you do? How do you react to
that? Scorpion's got a mean streak, so I'm gonna just walk over there and taunt him, just right over him, shaking my head, just come on, man, that is so easy to not mess up.
You are the worst babyface.
Oh, horrible.
So and he's just he wave, he's his hand that's clutching his neck, he kind of waves, and he actually kind of catches your because you're kind of leaning down to him, he catches your face and kind of pushes you with actual big guy strength, and you go stumbling back. And I think this, because there's some frantic waving and signal giving backstage, and this is when they hotshot the the on-screen re-emergence of Reaper to get out there and save this save this segment that's suddenly went south. So I was imagining as coming out onto the ramp, but Strash, if you had a different idea for how you wanted to do it, it is all you.
So I think there's this moment where, no, actually, I think this is awesome. So essentially, the after all the boos are happening, guys injured, whatever. If the lights swerve, there's already the buildup of fog and everything. And then they hit the black lights as, the wind machines clear it. And you see kind of the hooded, cloaked, cowled figure sitting atop like a very Game of Thrones style like Iron Throne if it was made out of skulls and bones. And it's clearly like an homage, like totally like 100% like cheesily stolen with like the bones sticking out and everything. And then obviously the figure stands up, and then he like just basically shrugs off, and the cloak falls off, and it's obviously the Reaper. And I think what's gonna happen is he's gonna come stalking down the ramp, and usually he does that build up where he like points to the audience, his bones are dancing around. But this time there's none of that. And what happens is he starts pointing, and as he starts pointing, the regular announcers, will say something like, "Oh, what's that? What's that?" And there's there's a giant box that's being wheeled out by some of the bones, and I'm talking like huge box is being wheeled out on some sort of like dolly, and it's being wheeled up to the tiny table that the felt table with a little lamp that Professor Atamo is standing on. And I think the Reaper comes stalking down the walkway, and he is going to see if he's going to snag a mic on his way over, and he's going to point at the crowd and say, "It seems that the memories of this audience are short. Those of you that have seen the beginning of this match look at the rosters and see not my name. But I have returned because I was never disqualified. However, I am not here to quibble over belts and titles. I am here to do what must be done. There are those amongst us that are uppity and think of themselves as higher than others. They pretend to teach us and feed us with their knowledge. So I have brought you a feast, Professor Atamo." And he claps the box, and it falls apart, and a bunch of the guys in lab coats, kind of the giant muscly guys in lab coats, come tumbling out, like they're in a small pile as if they were unconscious. And he goes, "It's a box of nerds. Candy for you, sir." Slams Mike down.
Oh my god.
I don't know what to think now.
Oh, that's amazing.
You're a terrible person. You're
well,
bad.
sir.
You set up the pun. It's your fault.
Remember,
You're
pun-based
bad,
wrestling is the highest form of wrestling.
I like the idea that was in character, just like you look at it like, it's a box of nerds. in case you missed it.
Yep.
Those of you following at home.
Alright, so clearly cutting promo, or that's pretty underhanded with abducting his nerds if you wanted to make the heel move for one of those effects. Let me know if you need me to read them.
I was going for a promo.
Okay, then do the promo.
My poor nerds.
Not my nerds. So roll plus look. You're muted, but I see that you're a 6.
Hang on, my mic button wasn't working.
You're back.
It's technically roll plus power.
Oh,
because
right.
I have look at that size, which is
Right.
or I'm sorry, intimidating.
You're intimidating.
Yes. All right, so I rolled a 6. It looks like.
Yep.
And my power is a +3.
Yep.
So that's gonna be a 7 to 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to pick one. +1 momentum, +1 heat with the subject of my promo, or make creative book you in a match. Oh, that's pretty good. I think I'm gonna actually build heat with Professor Atomo. I'm trying to get this. I think he's gonna help me get this the rest of the way here.
To be fair, the chances of you and Professor Atomo not already being booked in a match are pretty low. So.
All right then. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm building heat with Professor Atamo.
Yes, and there are an equal chorus of excited cheers for the Reaper's return, which turned horrified gasps when the the limp pile of nerds falls out of the box.
Could I pull an interrupt here?
Sure. Well, you're still in the ring, so you can go ahead. You don't need to.
Well, I would assume that this promo cut through as I was starting to walk out, and Tiny, Huge, whatever his name was starting to get carted off. So I would imagine I could totally come up now that the whole nerd slapping has come up, and just as I'm walking by, like elbow Reaper, just as a kind of like, screw you.
Oh, just get in his.
All up in his grill. I know. That's what makes it great.
Oh man. So, yeah. So there's this beat, and then just like a passing, like kind of like I'm not scared of you kind of thing, or do you like get in his face?
More like a I don't care who you are. Move. Yeah, just kind of out of passing.
Now the question is, was that booked, or are you ad-libbing that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if it's part of, unless you're like, I'm breaking the kayfabe of this moment in order to give him some shit. That'd be breaking kayfabe. If not, I think it's just part of what's going on, and we'll continue on. So it's kind of up to you.
I think having it be part of the whole thing is kind of part of my debut as the
right.
Yeah,
I don't take shit from anyone.
Just mess with the baddies.
That's fine. Okay. Cool. So yeah, he gives you a little dig on his way back up the ramp. Reaper, what the hell? You're gonna let that pass?
I think he totally no-sells it, and just sort of like watches him leave, and you get that like, oh, maybe something's gonna happen later look.
Mm-hmm.
So he turns to watch him leave. Then he's not going to be ready for the table that's hitting him in the back of the head.
Nice!
Because there's no chance the professor lets this stand, and he's got this handy table.
Mm-hmm.
Double interrupt for the win.
Yeah. Almost like it was planned that way, or was it? We'll have to find out.
I had nothing to do with it.
All right, fantastic. So you hit him with your table. From behind. Okay, so here's how this goes. You hit him with the tail from behind. Reaper, I assume you probably no-sell that, or like it gets your attention, but you're not like, oh god.
Yep.
I would imagine.
I think actually, I think he's actually going to take like a step or two forward. Like, you know, I have actually, for Reaper, this is a huge sell, right? Like, not normally, but yeah. So like the table hits him from behind. He's going to actually take like a step two and almost reach out a hand towards like the corner of the ring to steady himself. So, back to you, Professor.
Right. So yeah, you and there's like a gasp, right? A gasp of shock from the audience that you've been rocked by this blow. And that's when the coming like some down the ramp, but also some out from like underneath the ring, start coming your minions, the bones, start swarming in to surround you and like defend you from the professor, and the nerds start coming to their senses from where they fell out of the box. And start standing up and straightening their bow ties. And we have a little standoff of the two of you behind your two lines of, it's not a million guys, it's like 3 or 4 guys on each side, right? But your bones versus your nerds. Yes, and they start snapping. No, not that kind of promotion. Okay, Scythe, do you want to be involved with this, or
I was just thinking about how I could pull like the classic Shane McMahon and just have the entrance and insert myself right in the middle of the shit. So let's do that.
Can I make a case for working the audience first? Because
what do you do?
Well, that is honestly what I was trying to do with getting things.
To like pop them with the
table to get the audience on my side.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
Yeah. How do you interact with them, like with the actual strike itself? Give me this like a little bit more.
Yeah, I think this is probably again choreographed. So there's the table, and then he takes the step forward, and then the bones are all on me, and I'm pushing him back, and I'm like reaching and screaming like, Reaper, you will not defeat wrestling science! Wrestling science! And then the audience starts chanting it too, and that's actually what gets the nerds back on their feet. Is the clap if you believe in fairies chant of wrestling science, and that is where the standoff actually happens.
That sounds great. Roll it. Work the audience.
All right. Oh, that's a terrible roll. I rolled really, really terribly. I got a 3.
Did.
I did. And I've got an audience of 3, so that puts me at 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that means, again, I'm going to spend some momentum that I would rather I didn't, but I really hate getting 6s.
I mean, the botch just means you can't work the audience anymore this episode.
Yeah, I'm having a look here. All right, well, I'm not currently in a match, and getting a pop gets me 1 momentum.
Right.
So
you could kind of like basically use this to give you the advantage in starting the match if you want, or
no, I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna use it to. I'm gonna spend a momentum to get a momentum and just have it even out. And then we'll have Scythe do his pop in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how do you get in on this side? So the audience is like, there's the wrestling science, but it's kind of. In the past you've had like the one half go like wrestling, and the other half goes science, and this is more like the same people doing both, because there's a bunch of people who are semi-ironically or non-ironically Reaper fans who are like, yes, Reaper's finally going to kick Professor Atomo's ass. So yeah, it's not as you don't get the huge groundswell that maybe you would have anticipated. Reaper's fans are bonehead. Yes, the boneheads as is being proposed in chat. That's great. All right, so that's the pop. Scythe, how do you get in on this?
So Nathan, remind me, who is the head of the WWW?
So C. Colton Craig is the general manager.
That's it. So the Titantron's going to pop on. And it's going to be Scythe sitting on the desk of C. Colton Craig, just sort of from the shot in front. So he's sitting in his chair, and I'm just sort of sitting on his desk. Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold everything. Now, I was talking to my buddy Colt here, and he agrees that this is the sort of feud that we can't have devolve into a street fight? That's not what the people came to see. No. This is going to be done the old-fashioned way. In a cage. So, I've got the paperwork right here. My buddy, see, look, he's already signing it. Look, he's so helpful, this guy. So later tonight, Professor Atomo and the Reaper in a cage.
All right. Awesome. I'm just curious, is there a move attached to that, or you're just going off the cuff?
No. My move is I like to start trouble.
Just starting shit? Okay.
Yeah. When you start shit, roll shit.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. Okay, so yeah, you're on the and so like kind of the body language and everything, right? Is that he's like, intimidated by your presence and doing your bidding because you're threatening him, right? That's the connotation of the segment. I'm
sorry, I'm muted. Yes.
Okay. Just making sure we're clear. Cool. So yeah, he's you see him sign the thing, and that is when we go to commercial. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and call for a couple minute mid-session break here. if anyone needs to do break things for 2 or 3 minutes, and I will take a look at what we have coming up for the second half, and we'll come back in a couple minutes.
Sounds awesome.
All right.
I'm going to go grab water.
Yes, I will do the same. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Uh-oh. This headset is weird.
Not eating a taco, don't know what you're talking about.
There were no tacos eaten on this episode of Worldwide Wrestling.
You're eating a taco while you're playing a luchador? That's just racist.
And you didn't bring enough
Yes,
for the rest of
but
us.
I'm allowed to.
That's a
because
total
I'm playing a
human.
luchador.
So we're talking in the chat there about things. Oh, you all right? I won't worry.
Don't worry. Nobody worry.
All right. There's no worrying going on.
No one
Yeah.
is worried.
There is no intent for run-ins or anything by anyone.
No.
Never.
No.
I thought I was worried, then I learned to trust the system.
Yeah, you should just trust everything that is going to happen. Excuse me. Okay. All right. So here is how this goes down. So the broadcast has gone to commercial. And backstage, the light turns off from the camera, the shooting that Scythe's little vignette there. Light goes off, the door opens, and Tina comes in. Tina Tahini, on-stage interviewer, broadcast personality, backstage booker and producer, and in actual charge. Her and Craig are kind of like the two people who are actually in charge of making the show happen in real life. So she comes in and she comes up to Scythe, and she looks at Craig and just shakes her head. And she's like, "All right, which one of you thought that throwing out a cage match was going to be a good idea? Was it you? It was you,
really
wasn't it?"
have to ask?
How did you let him? Do you know how long it takes to set up that goddamn cage? It takes all night. That's why we plan for it and we announce it ahead of time so that people tune in to see it, and we work it into the.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I have a plan.
It's like, oh well, I mean, I'd like to hear it. What's your plan for lifting the laws of physics and letting them put the stupid cage together faster? Because now we have a whole audience, we have a whole arena just staring at a bunch of guys with wrenches for like 20 minutes.
Just come here. And I'm gonna whisper in her ear.
What do you whisper in her ear? This isn't on camera. This is.
Okay.
This isn't on camera. No. This is.
Okay.
This is legit.
Oh, never. Okay, that's mine. That's on mine. I thought we were on camera.
It's a real moment.
Yeah, no, it's real. No, we made. I had the guys put it together yesterday. They just got it. They put it together, and then they took it apart into like 3 pieces, so it'll fit through the freight doors.
Like,
I worked it all out.
And you didn't think about asking me? You talked him into this, didn't you? And Craig's just sitting there
Craig
going
was
like,
in on it. Craig,
yeah,
we talked about it yesterday.
It's like, I thought it was a good idea. What's your problem? And so
we're both sitting there like kids that got caught in the cookie jar. Like, no, this is good.
it's gonna be really good.
It's gonna be really good.
She's like, all right, well, look, it's still going to take a while for them to set up, and then we can't. So here's what's going to happen. This was the plan, was you were going to have your quarterfinal match with Aurora as the main event, but we can't set up the cage and then take down the cage. It just doesn't work. It totally ruins it. We have to end with the cage. So, you go talk to Reaper and figure out how to, get yourself in there too, and we'll just do it as a triple threat main event. Blow off the whole thing at once.
I like that more. This is why you're in charge. Craig, you should let her make the decision. What are you doing listening to me? What is wrong with you? Why do you let him listen to me?
I don't know why. I don't know why I listen to either of you. Just make it work.
All right. I'll take care of it. God, Craig,
So
you're the worst. You're the worst GM.
he's like, it's it'll put butts in seats. So yeah, well, we will. So you two think about that.
If he says that, if he says it'll put butts in seats, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
my
he says
butt
that.
in the hot seat.
He says, okay, so he just looks at you, he's like, look, I get you, I understand. This isn't like Joey, where like he's always trying to annoy me and get up in my business and hurt people. Like, you know how it works, and we've always gotten along. So when you come to me with an idea, I think it's a good idea. I'm not gonna pass it by Tina every time I want to take a shit. Like that's not. So just.
All right, that's what I thought too. I thought you would appreciate it.
And I do, which is why we're doing it. So now you go make it work. Make sure she's happy. If she's happy, she won't yell at me. Then I won't have to come back and yell at you. And I don't like yelling. I don't like yelling at you guys. So just make it work.
Craig, you want to get tacos when this is all over?
It's like I already had dinner. They bring it to us backstage while you guys are out doing whatever.
All right.
Privilege of being in charge. They're like, all right, there's like, we're back in 2. It's like, go.
Okay.
So the so when we come back from commercial, I think the ring area, what they've done is they have like the pieces of the cage out, and they've stuck a clipboard in the hand of one of the nerds, and like he's like directing them and kind of playing it for laughs a little bit, so that it makes it more of like an entertaining kind of thing and not just like a bunch of dudes with wrenches. And the commentators are like, in a night of so many unexpected surprises, debuts, and returns. We never expected a cage matches or to also make an appearance, but what a treat for our what a treat for our fans. And they're kind of filling a little bit of airtime while backstage things are getting kind of like run around. So I think where we go from there is a backstage conversation with Reaper and Scythe, because we haven't seen you guys interact yet, and there's some questions to be answered.
On or off camera?
I was going to keep it on camera unless you guys wanted to like strategize or something first.
On camera's fine.
Okay, and
I need to know which level of influencer I was.
Right, yeah.
Is it this one or is it this one?
Yeah, we need like hand signals for what's going on. No, this is on camera. Kayfabe. Keep it kayfabe, brother. And I don't have a particular... Like, you guys, there's no particular agenda for this other than, like, let's see you guys interact, get Scythe into this match, however it makes sense for you guys. But yeah, I think, do we cut to just, like, a dark room with the two of you, or how are you... What's your universe when it's like the graveyard consulting together?
I think it's just like the walls are covered in black, so it just basically looks like the throne is there on its own, and I'm just like sitting on it very Conan style with like my head on like my hand, and I'm sort of gesturing at him for right now. And there's probably some bones dancing around. Go.
I approach him like how the Imperial officer approaches Vader in Empire, like from the back, just like, my lord.
And I think Reaper is totally going to sort of he's just totally like hamming it up, right? He's all turning the gaze, and he says, Scythe, step forward and tell me what goes on here in the world.
I don't know what to tell you, boss. It's gotten a little hairy since you were here last. I mean, you met the nerds. That's good. That saved me a little while. Um, there's that guy Bradshaw. He's kind of crazy. I think he can do magic. I think he's like legit a wizard. Like for real. So
Tell me,
you might.
how many have you reaped into the graveyard?
About that. So I totally had a guy like ready, and we were taking him back, and I was gonna do the thing, and yeah, all that. And then that guy, blind man showed up, like I was saying, and he was like, he was like, no, you should, let me, and I was like, no, you can't. And then Atomo showed up, and then it all turned into a thing. So blind man has him. That's kind of the long and short of it.
So I think Reaper stands up and he goes, if you are to be my champion in the ring, then we will have to make you worthy. And he's gonna, he totally, like, there's like this moment where like black lights come on and you realize that he's got like crazy ass body paint and like weird whorls and mystic sigils that just like light up out of nowhere. And I'm actually placing that as a Chekhov's gun. I'll probably pull that off in the ring at some point. And he points at you and he says, "You're coming with me. If I am to face Atamo, then you'll take his skill and you'll take his strength. Gird yourself."
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
And I think that's it. We're totally gonna cut at Chekhov's body paint. Nice.
It has been introduced. Yeah, so you're demanding that he join you in reaping some power from Professor Atamo. It sounds like.
That's the best I can come up with in the 5 minutes when Tina is totally like, "You got to get him in the match." I'm like, seriously?
Yeah. I figured it out. You made this. He made this bed. Now you lie in it. Is pretty much what.
Tina told me I got to be in the match. I don't know how. I don't know what she wants.
Help me, Jim. I mean Reaper. Awesome. I think that's cutting a promo. That's telling us what you think and furthering this storyline. So go ahead and roll for that, Straj.
All right, so that's another 9. Let me look at the cut of promo here.
Can I spend one of my momentum?
No, you guys do not have that kind of relationship, unfortunately.
It's okay. I think I'm totally gonna just gain +1 momentum and just leave it at that.
Nice. Cool. So I think we cut from there. We cut from there to backstage, kind of like outside the locker room area, and Scorpion, you're being, I think you're like headed like into the locker room, and you're tapped on the shoulder, and you turn around and there's and Tina in her interviewer mode is there with the mic, and he says,
Si, señorita.
Mr. Senor Scorpion.
Scorpion. You may call me a Scorpio, though.
Scorpio, then. You had quite the debut match against Tiny Nate Turner, but then I think the real controversy is coming in at the end. There's a question as to whether there's 2 questions that the Worldwide Wrestling Universe is going to be pondering in the coming weeks. Did you mean to do that to to cause physical damage out beyond the realm of the sport to Tynate Turner, number one. And number two, have you run into the Reaper before? And was that exchange that we saw at the end of your match indicative of some kind of issue between you and the leader of the graveyard?
In regards to my opponent tonight, the Tiny Tim, you know, accidents always happen, and when you are unprepared and not as skilled as I am, sometimes those accidents happen to you. And that is why you must always be careful when you are in the ring with El Escorpion. As for the Reaper, he and his bones are nothing more than vagrants, and I will make sure they understand what it means to stand up against a man such as myself.
Awesome. Are you more of the storm off type, or do you wait for her to, or are you more of the wait for her to be finished with you type?
I think I'm the more of the wait type.
Right.
Storming off is reserved for the other wrestlers.
Well, in that case, then you will of course be watching this steel cage match with interest, as it seems that the fate of Reaper and the Bones themselves may be strongly affected by the outcome of this match. What are your plans? Are you going to be scouting Reaper during this match, or how do you plan to get an edge against him and so many of his devoted followers?
The Reaper is not the concern, honestly. He is but one man, and while he is indeed a powerful man, it is the ones who fall for his antics, his shenanigans, who are the real problem. It is his followers who I must watch. It is they who must actually face the wrath and the sting of the scorpion.
All right. Thank you very much, Scorpio.
Buenas noches, señorita.
Totally cutting a promo. Let's see how that goes for you. Because you took the mic and told them what you thought.
Of course, look, which, I don't have much of. I think, that's actually a negative, I want to say.
The curse of the technician.
Oh, yeah, negatives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, -2. Let's how badly does that kill me?
Yeah, so that's a 4.
Yeah. Anything less than 7, it's all the same kind of crap. So
depends if you have heat to bring it up, but in this case you do not.
Yeah.
All right.
Promos. Stupid promos.
So yeah, well, I kind of did that to you on purpose. So
Le gasp.
Yeah. Shocking. It's hard to be a technician on the mic. It's a burden.
Especially
right,
the El Jerkio accent.
Yeah, especially as you are El Jerko. Worst babyface. Okay, so you have the conversation. We leave that from the live feed, and it was up on the Tron, and the audience, they weren't really. They're more interested in the cage going up and the antics going on around that, and they're more interested in the established wrestlers. So when you go to the monitor to see what's going on out there in the fallout of your promo, people are going to get a beer, coming back from the bathroom. Yeah, not a big impact. That said, I think the live feed is now cutting back to Nerd HQ. with back to Nerd HQ with Professor Atomo in wrestling gear, and I'm seeing a blueprint spread out in front of you, like you're assessing the structural properties of the cage to prepare for the match. And this can just be a little vignette, just to, if you wanted to bring any other elements into going into our main event.
I do, but I'm not sure what I can bring in. Let me think here for just a second. See if there's any clever moves I could do. Because I don't have enough momentum to activate a babyface move, even if I wanted to.
It's a shame. I mean, even just any little fictional stuff that might be appropriate.
I think that you've got the gist of it with him talking with the people, and then checking on people to make sure they're all right and looking over.
Oh yeah, because everyone's injured. So how are you dealing with your injured nerds?
Well, I believe that I probably have a little triage section set up for them, where they're wrapped in massive amounts of gauze. These particular nerds.
I will point out that I don't think you've gotten cheap heat yet this episode.
No, I haven't. I had plans for that.
Okay.
But I think we'll change them slightly, and he'll look at the camera for a moment and go, "This will not stand. Wrestling science has handled these supernatural threats before." And he'll unroll a new blueprint, and it's got a Ghostbusters proton pack on it, and it's set up with a blueprint of a nerd wearing it. He's like, "Those bones won't stop me a second time." And I think the pop culture reference is where I'm going to get my cheap heat. My original one was to claim for the OHIO, but doesn't really.
Sorry,
fit
what's the reference? I think I might not.
Oh, it's just Ghostbusters pop culture reference.
Oh, just the Ghostbusters. Okay.
Yeah, we can even have the music play while he does it.
Sure.
He looked at the camera. Ghostbusters.
Sorry, I didn't know if there's something specific to Columbus that I wasn't getting.
No.
No, that's fine.
No.
I'll allow it. Everyone loves your fans are definitely of the self-aware nerd type. So making those references sounds like cheap heat to me.
Yeah. If I'd thought it out more, I would have had Bill Murray bring me the plans.
Someone in a Bill Murray mask, because we can't afford Bill Murray.
That's a good point. Could probably afford one of the minor characters.
You can afford Dan Aykroyd. He's not doing anything.
Bill Murray's weird though. He might just do it for free.
That's true. He might just wander in. Who knows? He might be a wrestling fan.
If he was in Ohio at the time.
All right. Is there more to that, or shall we?
No, I think that's it.
Very good.
I'm gonna roll with that.
Great. All right. So let's go ahead and cut to the chase in our main event of the evening. In effect, this has been made it's a triple threat match, but it's in effect kind of a handicap match, right? Because you got a kind of a 2-on-1 situation. Though clearly Scythe could decide that this reaping thing is not for him. Who knows? Anything's possible. I think we'll have Professor Atomo come out first. Is there anything in particular about this entrance down to the steel cage?
I think that because I was already doing the Ghostbusters reference, I think for this particular match, he's coming out to the If There's Something Strange music, and he does have nerds with him who will surround it, and they're all wearing the jumpsuits and the packs.
Okay.
And, and then he'll climb up on the cage and wave to people.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling science.
Excellent. Are you going for another work the audience? Get them on your side at the top of the match?
You know what? I will do this thing. I will work.
I mean, you're bringing out the guys in the packs.
Yep.
You got people chanting the wrestling sign.
Eventually, I have to have a decent roll. By God. Are we calling this is the start of the match?
Yeah, this will be the start of the match.
All right, so I will get my veteran instincts momentum and roll. Hey, there we go. That's a 12. Hooray!
It's a popular guy. Finally, well, they're fine. They got warmed up. It took them a while.
It took them a while.
Get warmed up.
Power of Ghostbusters.
Yes, they finally are on your side.
All right. So that's a handy amount of momentum.
Yeah, so now you're good to go.
More in my happy place.
All right. What is the graveyard tandem entrance look like? Anything special above and beyond?
I've got some ideas. Matt, did you want to take it away, or did you have a plan?
Go for it. No.
So I'm thinking that there's this moment where you're working the audience. The match is coming up, and you've got your little nerds, and then the Reaper comes in, and actually they've set up the throne so that it like slides forward and down the ramp. So he's actually riding it in all the way, right? And then as he stands up, like the bones start coming up from like in front of the audience where they've been kind of like crouched and hiding and under the stage and everything. And as he's coming up, I think that there's going to be this moment where the proton packs get leveled, and I would really like to see as they fire, like the bones will like shudder and fall over, right? Like totally working as intended, right? And at that point, the Reaper sort of like looks at this mass of people and then like lifts his hands up and starts laughing. And he's still wearing that like giant, ridiculous, over the top, like 9-layer, does not move even in the wind, like Nazgul kind of cloak, right? And as he's laughing, he's gonna turn around and he's gonna do the salute to the four corners with like the bones. And then when he drops the cloak, you realize that he was hiding Scythe underneath it the whole time. Sort of be like, all right, and then they level the little proton packs, and they obviously don't work against him. So I think that's gonna be my my big entrance there.
The only thing I want to change is that somehow they didn't notice it. I was just clutched to the front of you like a baby koala. So you drop the cloak, and I'm just like, oh.
He's the most snuggly minion ever.
Evil minions.
Oh, is it
worst evil minion ever.
All right.
All right, we're working out some logistics in chat.
I think as this happens, more or less the bones and the nerds kind of dissipate, leaving just the three main people around.
Yeah, and there's like a standoff. Like they're kind of staring at each other through the cage from the opposite sides.
And now the stabbing starts.
And then they throw one stick in the middle. Okay. Cool. Sorry, one more second, and then we'll get rolling with this. Yes, that's totally working the audience, Josh. Sorry. So go ahead and work.
It's actually not too bad for me. That's a 4, and I have an audience of 3. So it's going to be a 7 total, and that'll give me +1 momentum.
Mm-hmm. Unless you want to start with control of the match.
Nah, it's all good.
Yeah. Cool. Yes. So Peter is our announcer for the match. You can do it in character as a Scorpion if you want, or you can have a generic announcer voice that you want to use. It's kind of up to you.
I think generic announcer would be better this time.
You should name your announcer. Don't just be like generic announcer number 4. Be like,
You can name your announcer. Announcers we've had so far, we've had Jesse, obviously.
That's why I love when
Joe's guy.
Alan the Third.
Oh.
One of the nerds is on the announce table.
So someone who's on He's on the professor's side on table duties.
Hooray!
Well, it's two healers in the ring, so I thought I'd have to be the babyface announcer.
All right. Cool. So, as the two sides are kind of facing off through the ring, and Reaper and Scythe are slowly entering. Ring announcer. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, your main event of the evening is a steel cage match featuring, or it's a steel cage triple threat match. So, not only can any one of these competitors win this match by pinfall or submission over any of the other two, whoever if anyone escapes the cage by going over the top or out of the door, they'll win the match as well. And so just summarizing the rules for everyone, so we know what's going on. And so I think at ringside, the commentary team's like, it's like, well, this is realistically, this is a more of a handicap match for Professor Atomo and the nerds, as he's in there facing off against two members of the Graveyard faction.
But that's exactly why it's Professor Atamo owling by himself, for he is the dean of the School of Excellence. He only needs himself for this match.
Well, he is very confident indeed, and we'll see how well that confidence carries him through this meat grinder of a match. That's when the ref closes the door. Like, as per normal cage match rules, there are no disqualifications in this kind of match.
Chairs to the head.
And then chairs appear everywhere.
I was gonna say I'm gonna use my hardcore power to just have a chair.
Yeah, I mean, you can make it a de facto.
Always has a bomb.
You can make it a de facto hardcore match. There are no disqualifications. You just can have weapons as part of it.
And no, I'm just saying, like, I didn't say it before they closed the cage, so I'm gonna invoke my hardcore special ability.
Oh, sure.
I just have one.
Yeah, I mean, rules wise, there are weapons if or rather, when and if weapons are used, we'll go ahead and use the hardcore stipulation move.
Since you mentioned it, do you want a chair or do you want like a scythe?
He's been keeping strong with the chair.
I
think I tried to get you a scythe last time, and you were like,
"The chair's working." It's the only part of this that's actually working.
The chair is more over than the character is.
Yeah, they sell shirts with just a chair on them.
Awesome. Okay, so they close the door. They ring the bell. Match is on. I think based on how pre-match rolls went, I think Professor Atomo is going to start with control of this match. So you are starting us off there, Jason, with the Dean of Science in the middle of the ring with these two dastardly underworlders surrounding you. Take it away. And you're muted.
It's my special secret power, being muted. I said they're not real wrestlers, by God. All right. So, I think there's the clear fact that he's kind of outnumbered, and they've come in, and he's kind of in the corner there. So there's kind of the three-way gunfighter stare down for a moment, where they're all just kind of.
Actually, can I totally just step right out of it, like just back away and sort of like lean in a corner and cross my arms?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that would actually be a pretty good idea if Reaper was just like, well, go on then.
Oh.
Have at.
So, sorry, I got distracted by a comment on the chat thread for this. So, presumably Nathan will deal with that. All right. So, does Scythe look at Reaper as he backs away?
Probably a little. Like Reaper already said that he's gonna do that, but I was like, yeah, we'll get him with the what? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I got
when he looks back, Atamo's already coming in with the clothesline to drop him.
Okay.
And we'll say that Scythe actually gets the look on his face for a moment, but then drops down from underneath, and Atomo overshoots and gets to the cage, and they get up and kind of face off for a little bit. But then Scythe tries to go in with a right hand, and then Atamo blocks it and brings up an elbow into the ribs.
Yeah,
And I'm basically just going for a work there. If only you had.
No, because you're gonna make this about wrestling.
Yeah.
And Scythe isn't gonna be able to stop that.
And I got a 7 looking at me there, plus my technical is 9. I'm a big believer in spending the momentum, so we're going to just pop that up to a 10.
Looking good. Retain control, and you can gain 2 momentum or gain a heat with Scythe.
Ooh. So... So I retain control either way.
Yep.
Let me look real quick here. I think
you have one heat.
No, I have 2 with you right now.
Oh, yeah,
all the heat is good.
Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to take more heat with you. We're going to pop you up to a 3 there. And... Alright.
Peter, how does this look from ringside?
Well, there's the professor going right out of the book, straight into his superb clothesline. It's only by the merest of luck that Scythe was able to get out of the way. Oh, but wait! There's a right and a counter. Oh, and right to the ribs. Oh, that one's gonna leave Scythe a bruise in the morning.
Alright, so Scythe, you're grabbing your ribs and panting, catching your breath. How does the dean follow up that?
He's gonna actually twist Scythe's arm behind his back and put him in kind of a submission, but he's only kind of half doing it because while he's taunting the Reaper, he's like, "Your next" kind of movements. While I presume the Reaper laughs at him. So he's doing the. It's either slightly intimidating that he's only half paying attention while he puts Scythe in a submission roll, or it's inviting Scythe to elbow him in the face. So we'll see how the roll goes. So basically continuing my world of work, I think.
So you kind of have his arm twisted up in like a hammerlock kind of hold and marching around the ring.
Yep. Can't win through that. Just trying to hurt him. Right.
Yeah. Is this a big moment, or is this kind of? I think.
No.
It sounds
I can
more
keep
like
going for yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want Scythe to reverse it here, you can.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. I'd rather not do the whole thing with just throwing you around, so I'd say that you actually reverse it.
I can totally jump in and basically try and get you off of him so that I can buy him some time to recover.
I think
it's up to you. You're in control.
Narratively, I would still be in control. I think what happens, I'd rather actually Scythe actually gets out. So we'll say that he actually brings up an elbow and smacks the professor back, meaning that they have to get back to paying attention again.
Right. I mean, Strauch, you can spend a momentum to interrupt and go ahead and cut in. That's up to you.
They got this. I was just talking it through with my table fella.
Yep. And we'll say that they run at each other, and this time actually the professor jumps up and drops him into a big side slam.
Oh man.
Love the big side slam from the professor. Cool. I think that sounds like this is a more important turning point in the match. Hitting with the big side slam and then see where you go from there. So that is a little more of a like signature move, right?
Okay.
Like more of a look thing. That's what I was thinking.
All right. It's still a 10 though.
I was just thinking, man, I hope he rolls poorly on this, and never mind.
All right, so would this be... This is still under the wrestling move, though, yeah?
Yes.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'm actually just going to go ahead and pop our heat all the way up to the 4 there.
Okay.
So yeah, you hit him with the side slam, and this is the first big like impact move of this big cage match, right?
Yep.
And the audience is finally like gets a chance to do the big like that they've been waiting for.
Yeah. And so
It's the classic hallway slam from the professor, putting that student back to work.
all right. So I think what happens for a moment is that he just lays flat, like the two of them are flat for a moment. And presumably Reaper continues to be the mocking statue, giant statue of death that he is. And they both kind of roll to the side and get themselves back up. And actually, I'm going to say that Scythe gets up first and gives the professor a good kick to the head. So he rolls back from that, and Scythe runs at him to try and do a jumping punch thing. And actually, as he jumps forward, the professor is going to try and get a foot up. And because of the jumping, we're going to say that he actually goes for the cheap shot on that. It's a hardcore match. It's not normally his thing, but he's down. There's 2-on-1. We're going to go for the cheap shot.
All right. I would say, are you reveling in violence, or is it not quite to that level? Or does this, or for you, is this, out of
That is a fair question.
Uncharacteristically violent.
I would say it is uncharacteristically violent. I will go with that.
Then we're going to go ahead and apply the hardcore stipulation to this move.
All right.
Roll plus real.
All right, not the professor's best stat.
Can't let you play to your strengths all the time. Come on.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to not to. All right, so that's a 5 minus 1, so I'm at a 4 there. And I want to find out what the side effects of that are.
On a botch, you play it too safe or fuck it up, which actually makes sense for you.
Yeah.
You give one momentum to your opponent, and you pick whether you lose an audience or whether you take an injury as well.
All right. Well, I will surrender my one momentum over to him. So there's that. And I think the professor is going to take an injury. And I'm going to say that Scythe comes in a little bit harder than was expected and smacks him. Actually, Scythe, where do you want to smack him? You're taking control anyway.
So I figured that we just telegraphed it wrong. So I was completely expecting to get like a boot to the gut, but you couldn't get it up in time. So I sail right over and just knock the snot out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like with a force, like we weren't prepared for it. So I clean your clock.
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah. So I mean that I have control now.
Yes, you do.
So I'll probably.
So I'm going to pause for a second. As at our commentary table, we have our guest commentator, Joe, aka Jesse, has joined us. So he's going to be breaking in with color as we continue through the match. Whenever is appropriate. Peter retains the putting over power, but just so everyone knows who just showed up and what's going to be happening. Yeah, awesome. So we see Professor totally eat it on this attempt to be hardcore violent, and Scythe has now taken over control of the match. Awesome. And you took your momentum.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah, so the crowd, was like, oh, and then when he just goes, sailing over and the whole mishmash, just like a ooh, like, and you see the ref kind of come over and kind of poke his head in,
Yeah.
And you wave them off, Jason. Do you like? How do you react to the check on you from outside the ring?
I am going to wave them off, which will actually activate my veteran move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When injured, you can pull out of any match you booked into without repercussions, but gain +1 momentum if you don't.
Oh.
Nice. Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess you could apply this here because they're willing to pull you out if you feel like you can't go on. But yeah, sure, take it. Sounds good to me.
Sweet.
That does kind of like apply to the entire match, so it wouldn't be if it continued.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, Scythe's gonna have to do like a little hop over you to sort of get his feet back under him. And he's probably smart enough with wrestling to like take the beat to let the ref check. But as soon as Atomo gives him the wave off, he's gonna bounce off the rope, run up and just do a drop leg on Atamo's neck. And he'll get up and probably start doing probably like one more drop leg, like just really trying to beat him while he's still down. And then I'm gonna go to the top rope and try to do a swan bomb on him.
Nice. So you're going for some kind of.
I'm being flashy.
Some kind of flashy jump thing from inside the cage, so you could actually kind of climb up on the cage and jump off of that, which might be more better. Like stylistically more up your alley.
Yeah. Let me roll these dice that no one can see.
That's not wrestling. That's one of the professor's first tenets. When your feet leave the mat, that's acrobatics.
Well, that's the problem, Alan. The professor's trapped himself in this cage. One of the most dangerous matches in this great sport of ours. He was a fool to lock himself in there with the Reaper and Scythe. This is their playhouse.
It's still not wrestling.
It's a fight, and that's all that matters.
So am I rolling plus look?
Yeah, I think plus look could
Okay.
to match your gimmick to do this.
Here's a good question. Can I spend more than one momentum?
Yeah, for the bonus.
Yeah, so I'm gonna spend two momentum to make it a 7.
Oh, did you roll? Oh,
yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah. That's how you know I'm not cheating.
Yes.
So I'm gonna spend 2 momentum to make it a 7. Because I don't want to botch that just yet. I'm going to keep control, and we'll go to the next scene.
Mm-hmm.
After that hit, I'm looking a little winded. I imagine I climbed like halfway up the cage to make it like a really impressive drop.
Well, it's like you could have just kept climbing and won the match, but that's not what you're here for. Right.
So, I'm up and I'm putting the boots to him, and I sort of look over Reaper like, hey, look at this. Look, I'm doing well. I got him.
Scythe needs to concentrate more on his opponent and stop looking for Reaper's approval. Ever since his personality change, I've thought better and better of him, but he's got to get his head back in the game.
It's because he's too dogged in his old ways. He's still trying to grow. He's not becoming a better wrestler.
You want to talk about old ways? We've got the relic in there.
The professor is not old. It's experience.
All right, Reaper, how are you reacting to this?
I could just sit here and let this happen.
I know, that's great.
So, Professor, he totally, like, swan dived on you, so what are you doing here?
Well, I'll tell you, my general plan was to try and set up for a situation where he goes overconfident and then apply whatever move he does as a weapon, either against you, the cage, or possibly both. So he's trying to play it out a little.
Alright, so I think this is what's going to happen. I'm going to move up, and then on cue, the black lights come on, and my paint shows up, right? And I'm gonna place one hand on Scythe and one hand on you, as if I'm like channeling some sort of power or whatever. And I lean in like close, and it looks like I look up, and it looks like I'm chanting. But as I lean in close, I'm like, "Are you okay?" Just checking in like off mic, right? Like I'm using the situation. And I'm gonna be like, "All right, try and pop me one, and then just let me lift you. I'll do most of the work." So I don't know. Do you play along?
With the transfer of power.
I figured like you would like jerk out and smack me, and then maybe like try and take the fight to me, and then I would like do some like crazy stunt where I like practically like one hand pick you up and sort of like turn around with you on one hand, like do a circle around the ring, and sort of like try and use my strength to like do most of the move without forcing you to injure yourself further.
Well, are you looking for doing a move with me in terms of rolling with heat?
Yeah, fuck yeah. No, actually, what I'm trying to do is I'm looking to, yeah, I guess we'll go with that.
Yeah, so,
No. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so we're clear. So, Matt still has, like, control of the match. So this
okay.
is,
Sorry.
right? Unless he gave it up to you, or you're interrupting to take it.
No, that's I was narratively like letting Reaper do a thing if he wanted.
Cool. So Reaper's doing a thing that he wants to do, and I'd say doing the whole spot with the like transferring the power and getting him, kind of draining some of his energy or something like that. I think that is more of a look thing. Like if that's the spot, if the spot is to like pick him up and march him around the ring, that would be more of a power thing.
That's the one that I was going for. The transfer of power and doing the thing was basically just like how the stunt was supposed to go, where Scythe was supposed to gain his juice.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it's okay, I'll do my like giant monster lift up, and then basically just balancing him on one hand, sort of like on his chest. Very ice skating for a second.
That's where the wrestling science is kept.
Right.
I think what's going to happen there is that it looks like it's going off for a moment, and all the lights are appropriate, but then the professor is going to yell out no, and actually flip his body around and pull you down into an armbar.
Oh, so sounds like you are cutting into.
I am. There goes my momentum.
All right. So I think, and you want to do that before you got picked up and marched around? That was
no, I think it's before the power gets transferred.
Oh, okay.
As long as he's being marched around first, that's fine. But before the wrestling science, the magic that is wrestling science,
gotcha.
Sucked out.
Okay. So I don't want to like cut off Josh's cool idea. So do we want to go ahead and kind of reframe that as doing this big like power submission thing first, and then he's going to cut in, or do you want to save that till later in the match?
No, it's okay. If he's willing to pay 2 momentum for it, I say let him do the move.
All right.
Either way.
Good. No, cool. So you interrupt and pull him down into this armbar submission. Awesome.
Is it 2 momentum for an interrupt?
It's just 1. Interrupts 1.
All right, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always clear.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it should be at a 3 right now.
A classic reversal by the professor, but what's he doing? A submission in a cage match when he's already got another opponent out there? He's got to watch his back at all times.
It's classic professor is what it is. Always putting the pressure on, always mindful of his presence. I know, just deep down in my heart, that somewhere he's got something in surprise for the Scythe.
Well, he needs 2 ends to keep that armbar locked on. I don't know how he's gonna defend himself.
He'll do it because he is the excellence of wrestling.
Lovely. All right,
so what's your roll there?
Well, I rolled a 4 with my +2. That's a 6. I'll go ahead and throw one more momentum in to get myself to a 7.
Unless Peter wants to put you over on it, which he could do.
It's true.
I think this is an excellent time to put him over because of the whole draining the spirit of wrestling science out of him.
Excellent.
Look at that armbar! You could not do a more excellent armbar. Matter of fact, I think if you listen, you might even be able to hear the bones cracking in Reaper's arm. I've never seen anything like this before.
It's true. He's got it locked on tight, but after years of experience, I hope he knows how to lock it on.
So
It's textbook is what it is there, Jesse. Textbook. Just like the one he wrote on the wrestling science.
Yep. All the way back in the 1800s.
And it's still used in every wrestling university today.
Jesse, you're so lucky there's a cage stopping me from throwing someone at you again.
Again.
So quick question.
Yeah.
All right, so this moved me up to a 7 to 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I spend momentum on top of that?
No, it is either momentum or getting put over.
All right. No, that's fine. All right, so 7 to 9, I can either retain control or I can give it up with gaining a momentum. I think I want to retain control right now. As has been pointed out, I can't really win by submission, and I've also got a whole other wrestler in the ring. So I think what's going to happen at this point, since for just a second, for a mere moment, Reaper is down, and that's not going to last, is that he's going to roll up and then run towards Scythe, and his actual goal here is to push off of Scythe and knock him over and leap onto the walls and start climbing for the top.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to springboard off of him.
Awesome.
Nah, I'm interrupting. Screw that noise.
Yeah, fantastic.
So essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to let him actually get one hand on top of the cage.
Yep.
And I'm just going to take 2 steps forward, grab his leg, and whip him across the match.
Oh, jeez.
Ah!
Rip him off down in the mat.
I just basically whisper, like, should've let me do it.
Nice. So, I don't know. So is this plus power or is it heat? Do you need to
Yeah,
work
it's
with
plus
it?
power.
I think so. That's what it sounds like.
I know it doesn't matter, but Sai's gonna do the total toady thing. Like after Sai wins him, just like hits him with the chair.
Oh, like after he's like hit the mat and then like
Yeah. Just the total toady, like yeah, take it.
So I'm gonna spend a momentum to gain a momentum and just and pass it back to the professor and basically like just tap my chest twice and be like, "Come at me, bro."
The Reaper standing his ground, not showing any signs of fear from the professor. But then again, when your bones creak as loud as he do, why would anyone be afraid?
The only bones creaking in this match are the Reaper's arms after that armbar. I'm surprised he even had the strength to pull down the professor from the cage.
Well, of course he does. He's got the power of all the dead flowing through him.
All the dead that he beats into submission instead of wrestling like he should.
Alright, so controls back to Atomo. What do you want to go from here? Or where do you want to go from here? Now, the other like structural thing is that if you open the door and make it all the way outside of the cage, that's also an escape victory in addition to going over the top.
So before that point, I want to actually roll on the veteran put over move and put over Reaper for the amount of violent strength he's just thrown into things. So
He's demonstrated some vulnerability.
I think so. So we're looking at a 9 right now. I'm just going to go ahead and spring a momentum so that we both gain 1 audience for that. Oh, that won't work though, because we're both at 3. Damn. All right.
No, it'll work if you go to 4 at the same time. Then you both just go to 4.
Okay.
And if someone else was at 4, they would still bump down.
All right. Well, then we're both at 4 for the moment.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, so that's a big. I mean, let's not undersell that. That's this huge moment. Yep. You hit the canvas. There's a huge gasp, and then Scythe hits you with the chair real quick. There's a huge this chorus of boos.
Yeah.
And you're. Are you rolling around, or are you flat out he just killed me?
I think that it's a thing where he slams down the professor, and the professor does the heel over heel thing and falls back flat, and he's just starting to get up when Scythe comes in and lays him flat again with the chair. And for the moment, he appears to be out. But I don't think I actually want to surrender control. So I think that this is a time when the chant of the audience is there. I'm not working the audience, but they're there, and he starts to get himself back to his feet. And surprisingly quickly, he actually runs again towards Scythe to try and smash his own chair into him in a variation of the uncharitable. He tries to grab his chair and use his own move against him.
Nice. That, I think, would totally be, again, either potentially hardcore or just rolling on heat with him, because
I would much rather roll on heat.
I think that's fine. I think you learned your lesson about trying to get too stiff with with this guy.
I knew going in that stiff was not
my
thing. Yeah. Oh, hey, I just rolled it accidentally. There we go. I forgot to clear the previous one, but it's 7 plus our heat is actually a pretty good heat. And it was a 4, so that's an 11.
Oh.
This is a battle for the ages, Alan. 2 men in the middle of the ring in a cage fighting over a chair. Finally, the professor's learning how to fight in these matches. You've got to use every available opportunity to beat your opponent senseless.
Jesse, I disagree with you. This is not a wrestling match. You're right on one part. It is a fight. It is devolved into something gross, disgusting, and disreputable. I don't believe I'm seeing the professor getting involved in this right now. This is disgusting.
Worried about him while you're still here. You could go close your eyes if you're afraid of seeing a little blood.
A little blood? This is going to be a bloodbath with the Reaper involved. He loves nothing more than seeing people crying in pain. This is wrong.
Oh my god. Alright, so what are you taking with the with your wrestling move there? The momentum, I imagine?
Yeah, I did. Well, our heat's at 4 already.
Yeah.
So I put the momentum in already. And I think this is another face-off against the Reaper situation.
Mm-hmm. So Scythe, you're down after having received your own uncharitable.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
You could always spend momentum, get back up.
It's true.
It's 1 you said?
Yeah, it's just 1 to cut in.
Oh, I thought it was 2.
Oh. Sorry.
Well, that changes everything. Well, no, he already rolled all that. I can't interrupt now.
No. But you can pop back in,
I've got a whole other move you can interrupt.
So what are you gonna do next, Jason?
Well, I'm making the presumption that Scythe is down, but he isn't necessarily. Okay. And so at the moment he's facing off against Reaper. I think
you go for it, and now that I know I can interrupt, I'll hold it.
Yep.
I'll hold it poised.
And I think what he's going to attempt to do is to get the man down. The traditional way is by working the knees, but in this case, I think he's actually trying to go more more toe-to-toe than he probably should and try and flip him down. Because he knows he can't knock him down, but he can leverage him down. So that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get under him and get him over.
All right, so you're going to grapple with him and
Yep.
see if you can
Some
get him
real
down.
wrestling science here.
It's advanced knowledge of leverage. Leverage.
He loves that show.
Science, physics.
Science is all well and good, but when you're up against a giant like Reaper, it all comes down to power.
So, yeah, I think I think maybe the big moment would come after you get him down, right? So this is you getting him down. How does Reaper take this leverage-based assault?
I think he's actually laughing. Like he gets grappled, and then there's that moment where he gets flipped, and you know the professor's got him pinned, and he's lying on the ground, and he just starts laughing like that deep, resonating cavernous laugh.
Silence falls over the audience as they just hear your cavernous, perhaps supplemented by a mic of some kind, laugh boom out over the cage.
There's nothing the professor can do to this man. He's not of this earth. He's beyond the mortal realm. Look at him, he's just laughing him off.
All right, Professor, what are you doing? Or is someone interrupting stuff?
Well, I got a question about the end of this match here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a book-to-win situation, or at some point can I be like...
Oh, it is, yes. There is a booked winner. We're holding off on going home just yet.
All right, fair enough. I think then what he's going to be trying to do is to actually get some height on the cage and then dropping an elbow on the Reaper.
All right, so it's climbing the cage
knock
again.
that laughter out of his cold, dead corpse.
Oh my God. Awesome. All right, so he starts climbing the cage, going up.
I think I'm interrupting.
Oh, I was gonna.
Oh no! Please do.
Yeah,
Okay.
Scythe, do it.
Somebody had to. This was like.
So Atomo starts to go up the cage, and he gets like all the way to the top, and he has that moment where he's like, oh, I'm gonna make it, and he pulls himself up, and what he doesn't realize is I've been sitting on the cage the whole time, just waiting for his head to break, to break the top, and I just wham, just full on in the face.
It sounds like whacking Atamo.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the classic whack of Atomo back from 1970s. I was the champion of that.
All right, that's definitely hardcore slash violence there.
Hooray.
So roll plus real for that, Matt.
Oh, I hope I roll well. Oh, I did!
Boo!
Yay.
Don't cheat.
I rolled an 11, which is good
Oh.
because I have plus 0.
Awesome.
So
The crowd goes nuts.
yeah, so I imagine he's stunned for a second and he just sort of lets go, and he gets that real sick thud when he hits the mat.
Oh,
Listen to the crack of that, Alan. Embrace the feeling of it.
Awesome. Crowd goes nuts. So you gain an audience because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And you pick one from the 7 to 9 list. Someone gets injured, or you gain 2 momentum, or you gain a heat with Atomo.
I'm gonna get a heat with Atamo.
I believe now is the time that we shenaniganed earlier before the start of this match.
Yeah, there's a shenanigan about to appear. So sorry. So I have the mental picture. Are you so? You hit Atomo and he falls all the way back down into the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Are you staying? You're still on top.
Yeah.
Or you went with him?
I'm sort of taking a moment
And you're like grandstanding.
Yeah, to enjoy my adulation and despise in equal measure.
Awesome. And then, all right, so, and then what happens? I believe there is some kind of interference or perhaps a run-in.
I believe there's a run-in now. I believe this is where, you know, the threat is not Reaper, it is his minions. I believe this is where and a scorpion is going to deal with those who work for Reaper.
Oh,
So I'm going to throw my run-in on Scythe right now. So
yeah,
that's
coming in after Scythe.
That's going to be a +3 on this roll.
Mm-hmm.
For 10.
Nice. It's a hot
Nice.
angle. So
Hot
what does it look like, real
Damn.
quick? How do you?
So he's sitting at the top of the cage. Just finished knocking him off with a chair, sitting there laughing at it. Doesn't see as Scorpion runs up to the bottom of the cage and starts just monkey climbing up there and grabs the back of his ugly ass leather vest and pulls straight down.
Oh, all right. Cool. So
Now that's how you do it, Alan. Not only do you knock him down, but then you gloat about it. He could win at any time, but he wants to rub it. What? Wait, who's this? This man's not involved in this match. This isn't fair. What's going on here?
awesome.
Scorpion's the one with the ugly ass leather vest. My leather vest, perfectly regular.
No. I have the gaudy leather vest. There's a difference.
Not the trashy leather.
Right.
vest.
Okay.
Right.
Fair enough.
Okay, so to finish resolving the move, you gain 1 heat with each other, which is awesome. And then, Peter, you pick one from the 7 to 9 list.
Well, they can't get DQ'd, so
yeah.
that kind of messes
Yeah,
with
the
that
first one kind of doesn't really. I mean, we can work it out, but it doesn't really make sense fictionally either because he's not in the ring.
Yeah, and I don't think we're gonna have any matches later in this episode. So can we go with number 3?
Well, actually, the first one would make sense because not the DQ'd part, but you'd make him win because you pull him off the top and his feet hit the ground and he's escaped the cage.
Yeah, that would. So that would override the.
That would override the booking.
I'm down for that.
I mean, you can pick one of the other ones, but I just like the DQ part kind of doesn't matter. But the winning, the making him win the match by your interference part actually syncs up if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, and I think we talked about having this then end with a brawl between the bones and the nerves.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So I'm sorry. So.
We're overriding Creative's booking
Yeah,
by having Scythe get put over.
Yeah, I actually I misstated this. This is one of the most recent moves to get reworked for the final pass. So technically, Matt picks one of the options.
Oh yeah, Matt. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I gotta look at the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine with winning.
But it makes right. But I think it's still narratively that first option makes a lot of sense. The other options are you don't change the result of the match, but the two of you are going to have a match booked later.
Oh, I see.
Or it doesn't change the result, but Atomo or Reaper would come after a Scorpio for interfering in their business when he had no right to be in their business. So you could kind of set up a match with you or a match with one of them, or you can win this match yourself.
I'm fine. I guess winning and getting the heat because I kind of want to explore this feud.
Yeah, I think it makes the most sense for sure. In wrestling logic, it makes sense. So
yeah,
which is why that result is there. Awesome. So you pull him off the top. He falls to the ground. His feet hit the floor.
Lands on a couple bones and nerds to catch him. So
right. Yeah.
Kill him.
Yeah. There's guys there to break the fall, so he falls safely. But his feet hit the floor, and they ring the bell. And inside, how did Reaper and Atamo react to the bell ringing, like the end of the match bell?
Well, Atomo got dropped from.
You're flat on your back, sucking wind.
I'm pretty sure
Ow.
I'm pretty sure that the main result for him is that the nerds come and help him out.
Yeah.
In an unconscious or semi-conscious state. Yeah.
All right.
Those who aren't brawling with the bones out on the floor.
Yeah, so out on the floor, the guys who got fallen on have all kind of picked themselves up and have started just throwing hands at each other, right? So there's these, bones are coming over and nerds are coming over and they're all kind of brawling and shoving each other.
This is pandemonium. The officials need to break this up. Who is this man interfering in an honest match like this?
Where's Scorpion? Are you still up on the cage, or do you get down?
No, I think
side or the
jumping
other?
down to continue wailing on Scythe is the best approach for that.
I got this.
Even throwing him right into another armbar.
I think this is what happens. Like as he's grabbing Scythe and everything, I think the Reaper sort of like as he hears the bell, he does that like over dramatically stunned, like what was that? Yeah. How could the match have possibly ended? And so like he stalks around and he like looks at the audience and he's just like, is this fair? Kind of like playing it up. And then he opens the door and steps out, and as like the Scythe is like in the armbar and looks like he's about to get pinned or whatever, he's just gonna grab the back of his tiny little vest and whip him into the cage and close the door and like lean on it.
So you whip Scorpion into the into the cage. All right, awesome. So this is this is now just a broken down into a huge brawl. Scorpion's tossing the cage. Atomo's still in there. There's a couple nerds like trying to pick him up, but also like standing between him and a Scorpion to like keep them apart. Outside, Reaper's like pushing nerds aside, and Bones are like trying to pull Scythe back. And in all of this, the ref goes over and grabs his hand and raises it from the outside as the announcer goes, the winner of this match by escaping the cage, Scythe. And there's just this like big like weird cheer, and there's all these like dueling chants of all these guys brawling. I think we're gonna end just like with all this chaos, unless someone has a particular shit that they want to get in.
No,
I want to hear the announcer's last words. Go on.
Sorry,
this
Peter.
is pandemonium. This is chaos. This is wrestling at its finest.
This is disgusting. I said it once and I said it again. Now you have this strange man from who knows where coming in and involving himself in the art of wrestling science. No, wrong. Giving the win to that upstart Scythe. I don't agree with this in any way.
Go cry home to your mommy, you whiny little nerd.
And show.
Yes.
Awesome.
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 Now, I know we joked about it in the chat earlier, but I think because of how this happened and how that benefited Matt, you totally need to add the move buttering up management.
It could be that's a custom move.
This totally had to be what he was whispering to Tina, all about. Hey, so. It's in reward for me doing this all, I get to win, right?
Right. We'll make it work, right? Well, we can make that as a.
It's okay. Here's my plan. I'm gonna win.
Good plan.
It's a really
so there's
good plan, right?
Yeah, so as written, there's no moves that cover off-camera stuff because that is entirely a product of the fictional relationships between the characters, and creative kind of has final say over it. But that is an area for, like, if Matt wanted to spend an advance to make a custom move, and he's like, I want to move about buttering up management because I keep going to them and, like, setting up these things that end up being good for me. That's totally somewhere we can make a move for him.
I'd have to get in advance first.
You would have. You're getting close. You're getting.
I'm working for it.
Yeah.
Hardest working man in show business.
What's your audience at right now?
2.
See, I wanted to get into a situation where I could put you over 2. We just never got there.
Well, when you have your match with a Scorpion, I think things are going to start popping for you.
Well, actually, I ended tonight with 4 heat with Scythe.
Yeah, that won't affect your audience until you have a match. But you want to keep it. You'll maintain that until you do though. So.
Yeah, that's a match coming. That's
coming for sure. Okay, so Reaper gets an advance because he hit 4 audience. Jason Atomo gets an advance because he hit 4 audience.
Yep.
No one else in this session had 4, so you guys are sharing the top spot. So So you can spend those now, or you can wait until your next appearance and think about it and spend it at the top of the next show. Yeah, so in the chat, so yes, Josh, this is your third. So when you get another advance, you can take those advances where you can change to advanced roles and change your gimmick and all that cool stuff.
Icon.
Yeah. And you're close to that too, right, Jason? You have like.
This is my second advance.
Oh, it's only your second? Okay.
Yeah, no, because the reason Strash is on his third is because I think he started off ending a feud or something.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Strauss has had like 2
games. The feuds have started to get a little more extensive as the season's gone on. All right, cool. So we went pretty long with that last match, which was awesome. Thank you guys for that. Thanks for pulling this together. I know we had some people coming in late and everything, and I think it worked out. So thank you.
I blame this headset.
Thank you, viewers, or current viewer, for sticking with us. We will sign off. I usually, if anyone has any quick thing they want to plug, anything they're working on, or any emotional thing that's going on right now, feel free to speak up.
I know that sometime next month I'm going to be running a game of D&D 5th edition as part of a charity stream for able gamers. We don't have the exact dates on that yet, but just, I don't know, ablegamers.com, I'm sure they'll put it up.
Cool. Anyone else have a plug?
Yeah. April 17th to 19th, we're hosting a local convention, Philly Games Con. It's in Trevis, Pennsylvania. The website's up, and we're now accepting game submissions. PhillyGamesCon.org.
Great. Anything else?
I don't have anything to plug, but we were talking in the chat a lot, and I want to make sure that we give credit to our announcing team for that last match.
Yeah, no.
We all think that was awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. I definitely want you guys back. That was great.
Yeah, good work, announcing team. I think this might be my candidate for at some point editing it up a little bit and putting it up as like a sample match or something would be nice. We had some really good commentary that moved everything along and kept some excitement going. So, thank you guys for that.
I think this game is a good example for the 2-person commentator team.
Yeah, I like having the 2 people like the playoff. It's a nice.
Whatever you're gonna say something, then whatever you say, I'm gonna disagree with that.
Yeah, especially when you already have. I was already going in and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm babyface pushing right here," and Joe came in and was like, "Oh, okay, I'll push over the heels." It worked perfectly.
It's a classic formula that has worked for years, and you'd think it wouldn't be that hard to do, but
Monsoon.
That'll be a conversation for another day. Okay, thank you everyone for staying with us, and hope you enjoyed the episode. The website for the game is ndpdesign.com/WWWRPG, and the Kickstarter backer rewards are almost out. I actually have the proof print copy of the book with me right now. I'm going through it, making some final edits and corrections, and then that is going to be pretty much ready to send out in the next week or so. And once that book is in process to go out to backers and the PDF is out to backers, then I'll be putting up buy buttons on my website and putting up the PDF in various venues for general release, which is really exciting. So
watch the merchandise.
Yeah, and there'll be merchandise. You can see I'm wearing my Mammoth Marco shirt from the Season 1 reward set. Those will be going. There's a couple extras from that'll be going up for sale down the line, and some other stuff. So if you're enjoying these, if you're enjoying us playing the game, you can get your hands on the free beta set, which basically has 90% of the rules that we're using here for free on the website, or you can invest in the final game when it's up for sale, which I would very much appreciate. But thank you very much, and
hey, then one real quick, because you never plug it yourself. I feel like I should make it my goal to plug your Patreon, patreon.com/ndpaletta. What we had, Patreon backers had the the limited edition gimmicks, like 2-3 months before the Kickstarter. And
Yep, the Patreon's my testing ground for play tests, weird ideas, new stuff, and I'll hopefully have I actually have a new project that I think is going to be right for Patreon release coming up pretty soon. That's about kind of sword and sorcery, tomb thievery, and hidden identities. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, check out the Patreon because that's where
definitely up my alley.
Drop first. I think you'll like it. It's kind of first draft.
Turn into wolves
and thieves.
Right. There are no wolves, but I might put them in just for you.
Missed a trick.
All right. So we've gone on long enough. Thank you, everyone. I'll put all those links in the show notes or in the YouTube description notes. And,
Join the Google Plus community.
Yes, come visit the Google Plus community and all that other good stuff. Talk to us about wrestling. Thanks again. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys for the next episode of Worldwide Wrestling Journeyman's Cup.
Thank you.
Good night.